There comes a moment in every chosen person's life when heaven announces that it is time. That moment is now. You have been called, not by man, but by God Himself. The season of preparation is over, and you are about to step into a new realm of purpose. But hear me clearly. Without adequate preparation, divine assignments turn into missed opportunities. God does not call without a purpose. He is not random. He is strategic. Before you were ever formed in your mother's womb, He set you apart for a mission that only you can accomplish. And now He is calling you to step into that mission. But before you move, preparation is necessary. When God calls someone, He does so with a specific purpose in mind. There are no accidents in the kingdom of heaven. Each chosen one is carefully selected, set apart, and entrusted with a divine mission that only they can fulfill. Even before you took your first breath, God had already written your story. He designed you with purpose, giving you unique gifts, talents, and experiences that perfectly align with His plan for your life. When He calls, it is not random. It is a summons to step into the very reason for which you were created. Many people wander through life without a clear sense of direction, but those who are chosen by God cannot afford to drift aimlessly. There is something inside of them that refuses to settle for mediocrity. The world may try to distract them, circumstances may try to discourage them, and fear may try to paralyze them, but the calling remains. It does not fade away with time, nor does it lessen with opposition. It persists, pressing on their hearts, reminding them that they were meant for something greater. When God assigns a mission, He provides everything necessary to fulfill it. This does not mean the path will always be easy, but it does mean that the chosen one is never alone. Divine provision always accompanies divine purpose. There will be seasons of preparation where skills are developed, character is refined, and faith is tested. These seasons may feel like delays, but in truth, they are divine setups to ensure readiness. A warrior is not sent into battle unprepared, and a vessel is not filled until it is ready to hold what is being poured into it. Often, those who are called by God experience a deep sense of restlessness before they fully step into their assignment. They feel disconnected from things that once satisfied them. The conversations they once enjoyed seem empty, and the environments they once thrived in no longer feel comfortable. This is not a sign of confusion. It is a divine nudge signaling that it is time to move. The chosen one must understand that their calling is not about personal fulfillment alone. It is about advancing God's kingdom. They are not called to blend in. They are called to stand out. Resistance is inevitable. The enemy does not fight those who have no purpose. If the attack seems stronger, it is because the assignment is greater. Spiritual warfare intensifies when a person is about to step into their destiny. The distractions multiply, the opposition increases, and the temptation to quit becomes greater. But a chosen one must remember that challenges are merely confirmation that they are walking in divine alignment. When Moses was called to deliver Israel, Pharaoh resisted. When David was anointed, he faced Goliath. When Jesus began his ministry, the devil sought to tempt him. Every divine assignment comes with opposition, but victory is assured when one remains steadfast. There will be times of solitude when the chosen one must walk alone. Not everyone will understand the calling. Not everyone will support the journey. Some will doubt, others will criticize, and some will walk away. This is part of the process. God isolates before He elevates. Abraham had to leave his homeland. Joseph had to be separated from his family. Paul had to spend time in the wilderness before stepping into his ministry. Separation is not punishment. It is preparation. In these quiet moments, God strengthens, teaches, and reveals His plans in ways that would not be possible amidst the noise of the crowd. Obedience is the key to unlocking the next level of the assignment. When God calls, He does not reveal the entire plan at once. He provides directions step by step. Many hesitate, waiting for the complete picture before moving forward, but faith requires action. Peter did not walk on water by staying in the boat. He had to step out. Abraham did not see the fulfillment of God's promise by remaining in his father's house. He had to move. The chosen one must trust that if God has called them, He will guide them. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. The time to act is now. The chosen one must guard their mind and spirit. Distractions will come, but focus is required. The world will offer counterfeits, things that seem appealing but lead away from purpose. Not every opportunity is from God, and not every door that opens should be walked through. Discernment is crucial. Time must be spent in prayer, seeking divine direction. The closer one draws to God, the clearer the assignment becomes. The more one aligns with His will, the more strength is given to fulfill the mission. Preparation is not just about gaining knowledge, it is about transformation. The chosen one cannot step into their divine assignment with the same mindset they had before. Old habits, toxic patterns, and limiting beliefs must be broken. Elevation requires growth. The person who fulfills the assignment is not the same as the one who was first called. Just as gold is refined by fire, the chosen one must go through a process that purifies and strengthens them. There is a reason why many are called but few are chosen. The calling is extended to many, but not all are willing to endure the process required to step into it. Comfort and destiny do not coexist. The chosen one must be willing to let go of the familiar, embrace the unknown, and trust that God's plan is greater than anything they could have imagined. The reward for obedience is far greater than the temporary discomfort of preparation. The world is waiting for the manifestation of what has been placed inside of them. The assignment is not just about them, it is about impacting lives, shifting atmospheres, and bringing glory to God. The time is now. When God calls a person to a higher purpose, separation is the first step. He does not elevate without first isolating. Separation is a divine principle evident throughout history in the lives of those God has chosen. It is not punishment, but preparation. Before one can walk in destiny, they must leave behind everything that could hinder their progress. This includes old habits, toxic relationships, and limiting mindsets. The journey of elevation demands a shift, and that shift begins with detachment from the familiar. When God called Abraham, his first instruction was to leave his father's house and go to a land that had not yet been revealed. This was not merely a physical departure, it was a spiritual and mental transition. Abraham could not fully step into the promise while remaining in a place that limited his growth. Likewise, when God calls someone, He often moves them away from environments that no longer serve their purpose. The familiar can be comfortable, but comfort is often the greatest enemy of growth. If one is too attached to where they are, they may never step into where they are meant to be. Separation is not always easy. It can be painful to walk away from relationships that once felt necessary. Friendships that were once a source of joy may suddenly feel draining. Conversations that once seemed engaging may now feel pointless. This is not a coincidence. It is a sign that spiritual growth is happening. When a person begins to elevate, their perspective changes. What once satisfied them no longer does. What once entertained them now feels empty. This is the refining process of separation. Many people struggle with letting go because they fear loneliness, but true elevation requires seasons of solitude. Jesus Himself spent time alone in the wilderness before stepping into His public ministry. Moses spent years in isolation before leading Israel. Joseph was separated from his family before he could step into his destiny as a ruler in Egypt. The pattern is clear. Before God elevates, he isolates. He removes external voices so his voice can be heard clearly. Separation is not just about people. It is also about habits. There are behaviors and patterns that cannot accompany one into the next season. Procrastination, doubt, fear, and inconsistency must be left behind. Elevation requires discipline. One cannot walk in greatness while holding on to mediocrity. Many people miss their calling because they are unwilling to release what is holding them back. The comfort of old habits keeps them stuck in places they were never meant to stay. The mind is one of the greatest battlegrounds during the process of separation. Many have been conditioned to think small, to accept less than what they were designed for. The call of God requires a new mindset, one of faith, boldness, and expectancy. Negative thinking must be eliminated. Limiting beliefs must be challenged. The chosen one must rise to the call. One must start seeing themselves the way God sees them, not how the world has labeled them. Transformation begins in the mind, and it all starts with a renewed perspective. There are times when separation happens due to circumstances beyond one's control. Relationships may fall apart, jobs may be lost, and opportunities might close unexpectedly. While it may feel like a setback, it is often God's way of redirecting the person. He removes what is no longer necessary so that he can bring in something greater. What might seem like rejection is often God's protection. The chosen person must trust that every separation serves a purpose, even when it doesn't seem to make sense at the time. One of the hardest tests during a separation is obedience. Will the person follow God's guidance even when it feels uncomfortable? Will they leave behind what God is asking them to let go of, even when they can't see what's ahead? The level of surrender dictates the level of elevation. Those who cling to the past cannot fully accept what the future holds. God is looking for those who are willing to release and completely trust Him. Separation is a refining process. It removes distractions, reveals true intentions, and prepares the chosen one for what lies ahead. It is a necessary step before elevation. Those who resist it often find themselves stuck, repeating cycles that delay their destiny. But those who embrace it, trusting that God's plan is greater than their own, will step into a season of unprecedented blessings. The journey requires faith, but the rewards are worth it. The manifestation of destiny is never a random occurrence. It's the result of purposeful preparation. Every significant movement of God in a person's life is preceded by a time of preparation. The level of success one achieves in the future is directly tied to the diligence and discipline they practice today. Those who take their preparation seriously will see the fruits of their labor, while those who neglect it will find themselves unprepared when opportunities arrive. God never calls anyone into greatness without first taking them through a developmental process. David was anointed as king, but he did not immediately ascend to the throne. He had to go through years of preparation, tending sheep, facing lions and bears, and enduring the trials of being chased by Saul. Every trial he faced was shaping him for his ultimate assignment. Similarly, when God calls someone, He starts molding them through experiences that refine their character, increase their wisdom, and build their faith. Preparation isn't just about gaining knowledge, it's about transformation. Many people desire success, but they aren't willing to go through the necessary process to qualify for it. They pray for elevation, but resist the discipline needed to maintain it. A chosen one must understand that greatness is not just handed out, it's cultivated. Those who are prepared will be ready when their moment arrives, but those who are careless will miss opportunities simply because they failed to prepare. The key to proper preparation is consistency. Small daily disciplines lead to long-term success. A person who invests time in growing spiritually, mentally, and physically will always be ahead of someone who waits for the perfect moment to begin. There is no perfect time to prepare. The time is now. Procrastination is one of the greatest enemies of manifestation. Those who delay their preparation will delay their destiny. God often prepares people in ways that seem unrelated to their calling. Moses spent years as a shepherd before leading Israel, learning patience and leadership in the wilderness. Joseph developed organizational skills while serving in Potiphar's house and later in prison, unaware that he was being trained to govern a nation. Preparation may not always seem logical in the moment,